Hello, and welcome to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and today we are reviewing King's Dragon by Kate Elliot. This book was highly recommended to me by Nico's Book Reviews. I'm going to go ahead and link his channel down in the description below. And so I decided to, just based off of his recommendation, buy the entire series. And so far, I'm super glad I did. For me right now, this is a solid 4 out of 5. So let's get into the book. Let's read the blurb on the inside of the jacket first. So it says, it begins with a threat of civil war. For though King Henry still holds the crown of Windar, his reign has long been contested by his sister Sibella. There are many eager to flock to her banner, whether from their belief in her cause or the hope of personal gain. And there are ways to bring others under her command, methods to make even the most unwilling lord into a weapon pointed at the very heart of Henry's realm. Torn by internal strife, Windar also faces deadly raids from the north by an inhuman race, the Aika, and from the east by the winged riders, the Quumans. And terrifying portents are being seen by many, old ruins restored to life under the light of the full moon, and peopled by the long-vanished lost ones. Dark spirits walking the land in broad daylight, and suddenly, two innocents, Elaine, a young man who may find his future in a vision granted by the Lady of Battles, and Leith, a young woman with the power to change the course of history if only she can learn to master her fear and seize what is rightfully hers, are to be thrust into the midst of the conflict. Leith, who, together with her father, has spent her life fleeing from unknown enemies, must learn to stand and fight and must find a way to escape the prison of protective ignorance which her father has so carefully built around her. For the price of failure will be far more than just the loss of her own life. Elaine, the fosterling, who must unravel the mystery of who he truly is, whether the bastard son of a noble father, the half-breed child of an elfin lord, the unwanted get of a whore, or the heir to a proud and ancient lineage. For only when he discovers the truth can he accept the destiny from which he was born. Leith and Elaine are trapped in a personal struggle for survival, both helplessly being drawn into the far greater battle, a war in which sorcery, not swords, will determine the final outcome, and the land itself may be irrevocably shaped by the forces unleashed. That is a hefty jacket blurb, and it immediately caught my interest. Now this will be a spoiler-free review, and that said, it is a 4 out of 5 for me. There are some things that I did not particularly like about this book, and there is a couple caveats I want to kind of talk about. Now, this is a very religious book, and what I mean by that, it is very religion heavy. The religion in here is based off of Christianity, like medieval Christianity, and so there's a lot of religious fervor in here. There were some scenes where literally just characters are reciting scripture from their quote-unquote Bible. That can get a little tedious at times. The prose in this book is dense. It is a very slow read, and I do not recommend you rush through this in 5 days like I did. Take your time with it. This is a book that needs to be enjoyed over maybe a week. If I had taken, 2 more days to read this, I think it would have really upped my enjoyment level. It's not a big book. It's only 520 pages, but I would swear to you that this was 700 pages. If you were to come at me and demand me to tell you the page count on this, I would swear it's 700 pages. But what is accomplished in that amount of space is absolutely phenomenal. The world building in this is almost second to none. I would easily put the world building in this up with Wheel of Time, the Farseer trilogy. It's beautifully written, and the themes in this are just so realistic. it borders on a dark fantasy adventure. There are some things in here where I had to put the book down and go talk to the people in my Discord just to be like, what just happened? What did I just read? And you know, people they convinced me, you know, hey, it's fine. Everything in this book happens for a reason. My favorite character, oddly enough, is going to be Leith. Leith is just, she is so cool. Everything that Leith goes through in this story, and she accomplishes so much. She goes through so much. She deals with so much. And she is traumatized by what she has to do. And Elaine is really cool, but I mean, honestly, I think he's playing second fiddle here to Leith. There is a third POV in here called Rosvita, who's not mentioned in the blurb on the cover. And there were a couple times, like, I read Rosvita. She's only got like 2 or 3, maybe 4 POV sections, not even really whole chapters. And it really... I kind of forgot about her, and then I had to go back, read about her, and then I remembered everything, and then I never had another issue remembering who Rosvita was. I really enjoyed Rosvita. This is very much a... certain tropes get turned on their head. So, like, you know, typically it's the chauvinist male. Here you've got the chauvinist female. Here it's, you know... Usually it's, you know, the men rule. Here it's, you know, well, really you can only trust a woman. Which I thought was really, really interesting. I wasn't expecting it. And so when you get to those parts, you're just like, whoa. It's really interesting. And overall, I mean, it's just a fascinating story. Something I will warn you, though, is because of the dense prose in this book, the book structure, which is something I really like to talk about, it's dense. Unlike Faithful and the Fallen, that has really short chapters that pulls you through the book, the chapters here can be a little bit of a slog. I believe it's broken up into parts, which then have sub-chapters. So that makes it a little okay. But for me, like, I kind of hybrid read this between the physical copy during the day, and then at night when, you know, my wife was trying to sleep, I'd pull out the Kindle and use the backlight there to read in the dark. And the Kindle said, hey, your chapter's an hour and 40 minutes. But, you know, when I'm reading out of the physical copy, it's easy to stop at a sub-chapter. So depending on how you're reading it, really depends on how fast you're going to go through it. Because I would just burn through the sections and just ignore the sub-chapters. If you're looking to pick this up, last I saw, it is $2.99 on the Kindle store. So go ahead. It's definitely worth a read there. I do plan on doing a deep dive into the entire Crown of Stars series with Nico, kind of like a Crown of Stars debrief, where we sit down and do a spoiler talk and discuss the themes within these books. So keep a lookout for those. We should have an announcement for those coming out soon. That said, I do highly recommend this if you're looking for something that you've never really seen before. I would definitely recommend starting A Crown of Stars and just kind of giving it a try. I am going to be picking up Prince of Dogs in April and dropping a review then. And then you might get a little spoiler thoughts on this then, as well as I review Prince of Dogs. That said, go ahead and like and subscribe. Check the description down below for the link to the Discord. And as always, stay magical. Bye.